Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. Today we're going to take a look at an introduction to Planet 9, which has actually been doing really well over the last 2 weeks. And it's really popular on Polygon. It actually launched back in November of 2021. So kind of right as the bull market took off. Game's been around for quite a while. A lot of people are talking about it. There's a lot of daily active users. And the fact that it pumped like 400% in the last 2 weeks, I just wanted to take some time to introduce it to you all. So let's jump right into it. They talk about how they're number one game on Polygon. You can farm, trade, and earn. There's actually quite a bit that they're doing here. There's staking, lending, there's the play to earn aspect, there's esports. It's quite comprehensive, actually. Don't be intimidated. It's definitely easy to understand once you go through it. Their white paper is quite large too. But really well done. So they talk about how it's an online NFT strategy game where a digital rendition of Earth is your playing field. And just to kind of come down here, we can see, 30-day trade volume, 365,000. There's 27,000 active daily users kind of within the month. And what is it, right? So basically, you're an agent of change. Your goal is to restore a fallen planet to its former green and blue glory. Now, without just reading all this, there's 1.6 billion picks, and these picks are kind of the land plots that you can get. And these are the NFTs. You essentially want to clean up the planet, collect waste, and this waste are turned into valuable resources, which you can then use to get more NFTs, so on and so forth. Now, I just want to show you guys the trailer here because I thought it was pretty well done. And it does give a good sense of what they really are trying to do as far as the gameplay goes, like kind of what the theme and the backstory is. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Million on Mars in a sense, where you have this planet, you're mining all these resources, on Million on Mars, it's dusk. But there is a lot of like corporation structures and voting and DAO aspects. But yeah, this is something that me and our research team have looked into quite a bit, especially recently, especially with the 400% pump, right? Like what the heck was going on there? Obviously, they have a pretty big community at this point, and it's just seems like a good time to take a closer look, if you get me. So, of course, the trailer is always, gonna hype up the game a lot more than what it is. This isn't really gameplay. It's a web-based browser game. It's basically resource management. I don't really want to call it a clicker because it doesn't feel like that. It definitely just feels more like a resource management game. But yeah, the whole premise is you're essentially cleaning up this planet. And like I said, the waste is kind of the valuable resource that you're going after. I am going to show you guys, they do have a pretty awesome staking program, as well as some liquidity pairing that you can do with Matic, which has pretty decent yields. But the game side of it, actually, I thought was pretty cool too. So this is basically the gist of it with the trailer. I thought it was pretty interesting too. They talk about how to play. It's pretty straightforward. You connect your wallet, explore, kind of find what picks you want. Then you develop it. So you stake your land, resources will appear. When collected, you can exchange it for rewards. And then there's utilizing those, right? So this is where things get a little complex because there's so many different types. There's rarities in the NFTs, all the corporation stuff, but the premise is pretty straightforward. And here's kind of a couple examples here. You can see here's a company update. This is the corporation Gravity Grade. Kind of come through here and I'll show you kind of different examples. This is for corporation Lucky Cat, Net Empire. So there's lots of different things happening within the corporations. You can almost think of these as the factions within the game. And just kind of coming down here. Now, the roadmap is pretty extensive, but like I mentioned before, you can see back in 2021, really November is in 2021 is kind of when things went online. They accomplished quite a bit moving into 2022. And then if we just go to where we're sitting at today, you can see here, so mission control, and that's something that is worth taking a look at. I'm going to show you guys kind of what it's like when you're first looking at the planet, but they're pretty far ahead and they've kept up their development pretty consistently through this bear market, which for us as a research team, that's what we want to see. Did they properly manage their funds back during the last bull run when they got all the funding? How much development has actually been done? And what's the community like? These are all really important things, right? Because that to me is usually a good sign for longevity, because obviously they survived this market. Some of the things that are coming up, they do talk about new tile contract, cargo drop, syndicates have changed. There's going to be a new version of the marketplace, and then there's going to be esports integration, another kind of version of the marketplace, and a decentralized social platform, which I think is kind of interesting. So just kind of moving along, this is pretty interesting to see when you take a look at the IXT token. You can see the 24-hour trade volume rather high. Their market cap's doing pretty good too at 38 million. But 17, pretty much 18% for play to earn, 16% for liquidity events, 16% for staking awards. They do airdrops as well. You can see airdrop 1, airdrop 2. There's also an ecosystem fund. And then of course you've got the team and advisor. Team and advisor is a little high, but really not that bad compared to a lot of other projects. But they definitely are promoting the staking as well as the play to earn. And just to kind of jump over here, I want to show you guys, this is what it actually looks like. So, at first there's a lot going on. You can zoom right in. If I want to take a look at the individual pixels over here on the left-hand side, you can see I can trade assets, lands, I can manage my bids, I can favorite things, I can build territories, landmarks, purchase packs, trade history, and then marketplace V1 sales. I'm not going to spend time in this video going through all of this, but it definitely gives me Million on Mars vibes in the same way, you're managing kind of all these little picks. And, you want to kind of form them together, essentially. So you're working on all of them in a group. And just to take a look at the staking opportunities, you can see over here, stake IXT, it's about an 18.3% APY right now. And there is, like I said, the liquidity pool for pairing with Matic, you can see here, and even looks like USDT as well. So just to kind of show you some of the price action, we can see here over the last 14 days, it's up 400%. That's quite substantial. It's definitely led the play to earn category a fair bit. For people who are following Gecko, you probably would have noticed first there. It's definitely got a long ways to go to kind of where it was. We can see back during here, there's an all-time high. It was something like close to $4, and currently we're sitting at 40 cents. But even still, they've definitely been developing and built their community out really well during this time. Another thing I want to show you is their Twitter. There was something down here that I thought was pretty interesting to notice. This is the topmost holdings for Polygon tokens in the last 7 days. And we can actually see here, Planet IX, the IXT token, is one of the leaders there. So pretty awesome stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely take a closer look at the game if you're interested in things like this and resource management. I know we've enjoyed really researching it and taking a closer look. And once again, I just want to thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. It really makes a big difference. And of course, everyone who leaves a like, we much appreciate that too. I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.